What is up, guys? It is the John Gaz. I'm coming at you today with another video. For those of you guys who have seen my Secrets of Cinema episode about Toy Story 3, and if you haven't, strongly recommend you watch it. It's a pretty great video. You may remember me talking about Toy Story 3 originally having a different plot line. The original plot entailed Buzz Lightyear having some technical issues and becoming a defective toy, and the gang of Andy's toys packaging him up and bringing him over to the Taiwanese factory that he was manufactured in to be repaired. They venture off to Taiwan, drop him off at the factory, and then somehow learn that there's been a major recall on a lot of Buzz Lightyear toys, and all of the toys being sent back are just being destroyed. After this, the gang has a mission to save Buzz from the factory that they dropped him off at, bring him back to Andy's house, and that's basically it. In this movie was going to be a whole new cast of characters introduced, like Taiwanese characters as in human characters, other defective toys at the factory that were probably at the end of the movie going to end up in Andy's possession somehow. A whole bunch of new stuff. And although I love the storyline of Toy Story 3 and definitely think they made the right decision when going with it, I think this could have been a cool movie too, and I'm sure some of you guys agree. Unfortunately though, it doesn't look like this movie is ever gonna get made, because at this point, why would it? However, on the bright side, we don't have to leave everything that it could have been to our imagination. I'm about to show you guys some never before seen concept art for the sequel that never came to be. And I don't know if it's actually never before seen. I'm sure people have seen it before. For lack of a better term, it is a buttload of awesome, and because of that, I don't want to make you guys wait longer than you have to. Let's look at some concept art. Now, the first couple images that we have show the toys operating on a defective Buzz. These stills, I believe, could be either in the beginning of the movie or the end of it, because if you look to the left, we see Ham looking on the computer at some Buzz Lightyear information. Maybe he's looking at possible problems with Buzz, or maybe he's looking at some information to send him to the factory. So I don't know if this is the end of the movie and they decided to do the repairs himself. Either way, looks pretty dramatic. Next, we have a still of the gang of Andy's toys bringing Buzz Lightyear over in a sort of contraption that kind of reminds me of the house from the movie Up. I really don't know what this machine is. It kind of looks like there's like a vacuum hose in the back shooting out like bubble soap, and then obviously there's the balloons, there's some wheels, so this isn't just an air vehicle, this is also a vehicle for land use. I don't know if the studio planned on explaining how this machine worked, but I would have loved to have heard it. The next couple of stills we've got include Buzz Lightyear waking up in the factory. We see a giant portrait of Buzz in the corner. We see him waking up and looking pretty terrified. And then we've got him meeting what looks like it is another toy from the Buzz Lightyear line. We can see that he has a similar Star Command logo on his chest. He looks a little bit bigger. Maybe he's a deluxe version of Buzz, or maybe he's just a robot from the Star Command series. We've also got what looks like to be an alternate design for the character where he looks a little bit more robotic. Because of that, maybe he's a different guy, not quite sure. Next, we got a couple of stills of what the Taiwanese factory looks like. We see a giant conveyor belt filled with what looks to be damaged toys. I'm not quite positive, but then we see that in the next still, there are for sure damaged toys going down what appears to be maybe a trash chute. We see Buzz Lightyear clinging to the edge of this chute for dear life, trying to avoid what looks to be an inferno at the bottom where these toys are being incinerated. Then we've got Buzz Lightyear in a jail cell type scenario, which you could probably compare to the jail cells in the Toy Story 3 movie. It looks awfully similar to me. I'm assuming that they drew some inspiration from that. Then the last bit of storyboard art that we have is the gang sneaking through Taiwan. Looks like a pretty busy street. We have a car in the middle of the road running over a flashlight, demonstrating that if the toys were to cross the street, they would be destroyed. We also see people on the sidewalk that they're supposed to be sneaking past in what is a very obviously Taiwanese environment. Now, the next couple of images I'm going to show you are concept art for what would have been characters in this movie. Some of it's finished, some of it's not. Some of the characters are really cool, some of them are pretty stupid, so let's take a look. First, we've got a donkey character, and if you look at the bottom, you can see that his name originally would have been Little D. He is a tin toy donkey, part of the mariachi theme line of toys. There are also other toys in this theme that we are going to see. Next, we've got a character called Don Beebe. He is a robot, also part of the mariachi theme. Don't know why there was a mariachi robot. Maybe he was sent back to this factory because he doesn't make sense as a toy. Next, we've got a character named Cindy Scissors, and I don't think I have to explain why she got sent back to the factory. She is a doll with scissors as legs. I feel like that is very much unsafe for children, and I don't blame any parent for not wanting their child to have this toy. We've got a couple of more rough sketches for characters. One of them is for a character Mini RC, who was also a recalled toy. Don't know exactly what his issue would have been or why he would have been recalled, but he kind of just looks like a basic RC car to me. We've got a doll named Rosie, who was also a recalled toy. Again, don't know what the issue would have been with her. She's a bed warmer, so maybe she would have burst into flames. I do seem to recall that being a description for a character when I was reading about the plot, so maybe that is what this character would have looked like. And if she bursts into flames, again, don't blame parents for sending this toy back to the factory. We've got another tin toy that goes along with the space theme line of figures. I don't think this is actually part of the Star Command Buzz Lightyear line. We see in the top left corner of the right image that this robot's name was also Don Beebe. So it's possible that maybe the creative team was just working with a robot character. They had a mariachi themed robot, and now they have a space themed robot, and we're deciding on which one worked best. Then the last image I've got for you guys is concept art for an adorable little teddy bear named Apology Bear. He is also a defective toy. You can see in the bottom that he has a faulty voice box. Not really that cool of a character, not really that special, but he would have been kind of cute. Now that is all the images that I'm going to be showing you guys today, but believe it or not, there is actually more, and I'm going to put a link to an album in the description down below for you guys to check out if you want to see more. Personally, I really liked seeing this concept art because when I heard the original plot line for Toy Story 3, I remember thinking that it sounded kind of terrible. It was shut down in kind of early stages of its development after Disney purchased Pixar, but I'm really glad they did because the Toy Story 3 that we ended up with was pretty fantastic and definitely didn't make me cry. However, I want to hear what you guys think. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Did you think the images were cool? Did you think they were stupid? Do you think this movie could have been rad? Do you think that maybe Pixar should make a short film version of this? I don't know. That's what I want to hear. That's the opinions that I want to hear from you guys. And when you're done with that, if you feel like rating and subscribing, that would also be pretty blaze. And if you are the type of person who likes to have as many John-gasms a week as possible, I do not blame you. You are not a minority. I strongly recommend that you follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook fan page, or follow me on Instagram. On my Facebook and Twitter, I'm actually posting links to unlisted secret videos that you guys will have early access to if you are a fan of those pages. However, you guys, if you don't feel like doing all of that, don't get me wrong, totally understand it is kind of a lot for me to ask of you guys. Just know that I appreciate you watching this video. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, and stay blazed.